Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. I am excited. We have a new brand in the courtroom. Yes, a new brand in the courtroom. Really excited for Leiper's Fork Bourbon Whiskey. All right. So I've heard about this one from a lot of friends, actually. A lot of my friends, especially the ones that live down in Nashville, were telling me about it. And some of my patrons and good friends just in the whiskey business as a whole were telling me about it. So I'm really excited about this Leiper's Fork. So Leiper's Fork was started by, by a lovely couple, Lee and Lindley Kennedy. So Lee and Lindley out of Nashville, Tennessee. Technically Franklin, but a lot of people kind of take Franklin and Nashville together. But out of Nashville, Tennessee. So when you think about Leiper's Fork, so the owner, Lee, was actually very creative. So at the age of 16, Lee created his own still in his mother's basement. Talk about being an entrepreneur at the age of 16 and starting to make whiskey at just a little young Lee, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. Hey, I respect the creativity at the age of 16. He wanted to be an entrepreneur, and hell, here he is today, right? Him and his lovely wife together own Leiper's Fork Distillery. So again, small craft distillery based again in Franklin, Tennessee, like a suburb or like a section, I should say rather, of Nashville. They really kind of pride themselves, on like low volume, low impact, that entire concept, right? So really paying attention and creating very premium spirits. So I do respect that. Let me go ahead and just pop this real quick. So when you think about Leiper's Fork, let me pop this. Again, small craft distillery. They're only making I think it's 25,000 gallons of whiskey produced on a yearly basis. So very small from a quantity standpoint. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, I love a good craft distillery, especially if the whiskey's good. So 25,000 gallons of whiskey produced yearly. But what I heard though is that the tours on site are actually really cool. So I've had some friends who've been there. They have experienced some tours, and they really enjoy themselves. So the next time I get to Nashville, love that sound. The next time I get to Nashville, I am definitely stopping by Leiper's Fork Distillery for sure. Absolutely. All right, let me go ahead and pour this. Let it open up a little bit while we catch up. All right. So you think about Leiper's Fork. This is their bourbon whiskey. They're bottled and bond. So on the bottle, which is really cool, they're very transparent on the bottle. I mean, it tells you everything right here on the front. The mash bill, 70% corn, 15% wheat, 15% malted barley. It went into the barrel entry at 110 proof, and then this is obviously bottled and bond. So it's the actual proof on it now, of course, is 100 proof on the dot. It's a New American Oak number 4, so charred number 4. And it says age 4 years, but when I was looking online, it actually said age 5 years. So we'll call it 4.5. We'll meet them in the middle. But again, this is their bottled and bond product. It is an $80 bottle, so anywhere from 4 to 5 years. But again, it's a craft distillery, so things typically cost a little bit more because they're not producing as much. And they're taking a lot more time, honestly, focusing on the quality versus the quantity. So that's one thing I do respect. All right, let's get into this nose real quick. $80 bottle, age 4 to 5 years. Let's just call it 4 to 5-ish, if you will. Let's get into the nose. Ooh, I like that. Not bad. All right, Lee. So one really cool thing about Leiper's Fork is the fact that they use a pot still. So they don't use a standard column still, they use a pot still. So a lot of people in the whiskey world will say that a pot still will typically produce better quality whiskey. Typically, not always. I mean, it just kind of depends. That's a very subjective thing in the whiskey world. So they use a pot still versus a column still. Oh man, this is nice. Very nice. I like the nose on this. It has very much like a, which I wasn't sure what to expect, honestly, from a nose standpoint, especially with that mash. But what was it again? 70 corn, 15% wheat, 15% malted barley. There's a lot of dark fruits in here. Wow. Almost like a raspberry peppery kind of a nose to it. Yeah, raspberry, pepper, very peppery. Very raspberry, blackberry, super dark fruits. All right. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, here we go. Well, hey, here's a new brand in the courtroom. Real quick, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts on Leiper'sForkWhiskey. And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right, here we go. Leiper's Fork, bottled and bond. Cheers. It's really good. I like that. Very nice. It's different. Oh, wow. Sips a little bit even, I would say, even if I was sipping this blind, I might think this is like 105, 110. It's very bold for 100 proof whiskey. Very bold. Let me get a little bit more. Wow. It has a very kind of like a grainy kind of a note, like in the mid palate. Grainy meets like a raspberry peppery kind of a note to it. So the raspberry pepper note that I had in the nose, that came through the palate as well. But it's almost very like grain forward too, like grainy, almost earthy as well. Wow, that actually has a hell of a kick for 100 proof whiskey. Extremely bold. Literally sipping this blind, like if you just said, Judge, if I didn't know this was bottled and bond, so obviously 100 proof, I definitely would have said this is probably 110, maybe even 115 proof, honestly. But this sips, I mean, it definitely sips a much like bigger than the 100 proof point that it really is. I need a little bit more. Very grainy, raspberry, peppery, and earthy too. That earthy note is a very interesting one. Extremely. So, the question is, Judge, wait, hold on. I got something in the back of the palate there. What is that? Hold on. That is like it's like a peppery, that raisin peppery note is also kind of gives me a little bit of some chocolate notes in there too. There's a little bit of chocolate in there also. That snuck up on me. Wow, all right. I like that. I was ready to give a judgment. I caught a little something that I was like, hold on. A little chocolate in there. All right, so, Judge, is this a buy, a do not buy, or leave it on the shelf? Split decision. What will it be? The verdict is in. It is a split decision. Yes, I'm giving a split decision for a couple of reasons. I like this, but it's very like earthy meets chocolate, raspberry kind of a note. And with that graininess, it's a little different than what I think most people in the whiskey world might either want or at least want to maybe try it first at a bar. So I'm giving this a split decision. I think it's actually really good whiskey, but it's one that is a very unique palate. It's not like your standard everyday whiskey that a lot of people always look forward to, your caramel, your brown sugar, your leather. Is not that really. It's in a completely different lane. It's very earthy, very peppery, tons of raspberry, a smidge of chocolate in there as well. So I would say try Leiper's Fork first at a bar. But hey, not bad, Leiper's Fork. I'm liking your whiskey. Can't wait to see what else out there is next for you. Until the next time, peace, cheers. Most important, my friends, salute. Take care. See you guys.